We're back, and we're switching the focus to NBA basketball. Despite only playing 2 games together, the Sixers combo of James Harden and Joel Embiid are already putting the league on notice, sort of. The Beard posted his first triple-double in a Sixers jersey, putting up a stat line that read 29 points, 16 assists, and 10 rebounds, while Joel Embiid posted 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks in their latest win over the New York Knicks. For those who missed the Sixers' dominance, here's the action.
James Harden coming off a 27-point, 12-assist performance in his Philly debut Friday as the Sixers take on the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. And he'd show out early on at MSG. There he is, dropping it off to Joel Embiid for the slam. Then the step-back knockdown 3. Harden would become the only player in NBA history with at least 25 points and 10 assists in each of his first 2 games with any team. Harden to a wide-open Tyrese Maxey for 3, then to Embiid yet again, this time inside for the layup plus the foul. Embiid had 37 points and 9 rebounds in the game. Harden in the third with the lob to Embiid, who had finished the alley-oop. Then the Knicks turning the ball over here. Matisse Thybulle with a nice pass to Maxey for the layup in transition. That would put the Sixers up 75-64. But the Knicks would come storming back in the second half. Evan Fournier driving baseline, getting the floater to go, plus the foul. Then R.J. Barrett penetrating and getting the driving layup. Each of those guys had 24 points. Then Barrett to Quickly, who'd get the layup to go, plus the foul. Emmanuel with 21 points and 5 rebounds off the bench. But the Sixers would close it out on the other end. Harden for yet another deep 3 and his first triple-double as a Sixer. 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 16 assists. And there's another slam by Embiid, this time Embiid to Maxey for the tough 3. That would cap a 12-2 Sixers run, and they'd win it 125-109.
Well, in his post-match interview, Embiid, an MVP candidate, labeled his teammate, or his team, unstoppable.
With the way fouls are called, if you're not straight up and if you're on the side, that's a foul any day of the week. And, they were trying to foul me pretty hard too, which I really didn't have a chance to convert any N1s. But like I said, he's unstoppable. Before, James came, really, before that, we never had anybody that the defense really respected, coming off a pick and roll as a guard. So, nowadays you got him, you got James, now, they know you can shoot off the dribble and, all those step backs and attack the rim and all that stuff. So it causes the reaction from, the defenders, and he gets, all of us wide open.
After 3 straight victories, the Philadelphia 76ers are third in a stacked Eastern Conference behind Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls. Our NBA analyst, Alister Albert, joins us. And Alister, I'm not buying it so early. Are you?
Nah, you got to give them a little bit more time. It's only 2 games, like you said, and although they played outstanding, almost flawless ball, it looks like you kind of need to give them a little more time. The offensive rating, the points per game being put up, I think I noticed, I read somewhere that they're averaging something like 129 points per game in these 2 games that Harden has been there. That's not going to be sustainable. I don't think no team has ever put that up, maybe since Wilt Chamberlain or something. So that's not gonna last. But they are showing that they can be, offensively explosive. And, you've added a guy who is one of the top 75 players of all time, greatest players of all time to your roster, and one who was considered maybe one of the best scorers that we've even seen since Michael Jordan. Your team is going to improve offensively. So these guys just need to work together, continue to do what they're doing, and continue to kind of put some fear in the teams in the East. And I think they could do that, but it's a little bit too early to say that they can be the ones coming out of the East right now.
But Alister, it's a Knicks. Let's be fair. But outside of that, what did you see last night that would have given 76ers fans encouragement that they may go all the way to the NBA Finals this year?
What did you say? You think it's the Nets?
The Knicks. It's just the Knicks that they played.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played the Knicks, and that's one of the things that I wanted to say. And anyone playing the Knicks right now are having a bit of a field day, and unfortunate for them. But it's the Knicks. But what you're kind of seeing is a team kind of trying to understand where they need to be placed on the floor. But like you said, again, the Knicks are not giving them a lot of defensive resistance. But, these are guys trying to understand, how Harden moves, where does he like the ball, how to kind of move around screen and rolls. There were lots of high screen and rolls going on in that game between Embiid and Harden, where Embiid didn't do a lot of screen and rolls with Ben Simmons to that level. And, they're now trying to kind of get those kinks, those offensive placement kinks, ironed out and try to understand each other. Tyrese Maxey, this is another learning moment for him, where he needs to understand where he needs to be and facilitate. And so, it's them kind of getting their legs under them, getting, those offensive juices going, and it will work out well for them moving forward for sure.
The best teams usually play well through adversity, and I guess that's a big question here for the 76ers. How well will they overcome friction or a loss or consecutive losses? That's a big question, because these two guys, Embiid and Harden, they don't handle it too well.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to have a very tough March. They're going to March, the calendar month of March. They're going to be playing the Heat twice. They're going to be playing Toronto, the Clippers, the Lakers. A lot of adversity, provoking teams that will be stepping into their gym. They're going to face that, and we're going to see really soon. And also on March 10th, playing against the Nets. We're going to see what this team is really made of really quickly. And, this is the time where it's no longer a marathon. It's right now being a sprint. And Doc Rivers needs to kind of put these guys together, show them, they have the confidence to be the best at what they are. Embiid is averaging 29.8 points in the league right now, first in the league, putting up, amazing stats. Front runner for MVP with Nikola Jokic and other people, and Kevin Durant's name was there and everything, Steph Curry and all of that. But the adversity that they will face coming this month, I think we'll be able to tell the real, are these the real Sixers? Are they for real? Usually you have a training camp, preseason and everything leading up to this playoffs to kind of test that. We're going to test that in a very small window for the Sixers. And if they could come through with a winning record and impressive wins, I think we need to take them very seriously.
Yeah, Alister, I have a problem with you and Donald at this point, because I feel as if the same way that both of you don't want to, it's just 2 games, so you don't want to say, all right, they're back and they're going to take the East and stuff. But I feel as if you all are being extremely harsh, because it's only 2 games. We've seen positive signs. We've seen a James Harden, who was unfit in a Nets t-shirt, turn into somebody, I don't know what his diet plan is like, but he looks extremely fit. We've seen chemistry from both of the players. So as opposed to just ruling them out based on 2 games, why can't we judge on the positives that we've seen and say, well, maybe they can put up some sort of competitiveness?
Well, I'm not ruling them out right now. I'm just being very, very cautious with just 2 games being played. With the way this team is playing and the way they're composed and everything, I have them right now. I know people find this a little bit weird, and people are still really looking closely to the Nets to probably come out of the East. I'm actually looking at them, the 76ers and the Miami Heat, being the 2 teams left standing in the East, kind of, battling it out to represent that conference. So I do see them actually going really far. I think, the skill set that James Harden brings, will just be an opening for the 76ers in terms of, wide open shots and, this a shot creation that James Harden could make, making his teammates better. He's already averaging, almost 14 assists in those 2 games that he's there. And again, this will not be 14 assists that he'll carry on throughout the rest of the season. But, he's second in the league in assists right now. He'll be able to make, shots a lot easier for people. It's going to be really good. So I'm not ruling them out. I'm just saying, it's 2 games. Let's see what happens in March. But I actually think, looking at the team composition right now and how well they're playing, they could actually get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think Miami Heat will be right there with them.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned Doc Rivers. Let's spend some time talking about him and what he would need to do in order to get the best out of this duo.
I think, he just let these guys need to be themselves. You know what? I don't think it's a matter of trying to put too many reins on them. I think, James Harden has shown multiple times throughout his career what he could do offensively and the threat he is on the court. And now he has a partner who's equally as dominant, from a different position, who's playing, very good basketball right now. These guys are putting up numbers that the Sixers haven't seen since Allen Iverson or maybe even Moses Malone and Dr. J. So this is a team I don't think where Doc Rivers needs to really put too many reins on them. But, he needs to kind of make the others around them, Danny Green, although he has a lot of experience, Tyrese Maxey for sure, Matisse Thybulle, he needs to be able to speak that confidence into their air and make them feel like they belong, along with James Harden and Joel Embiid, and kind of rally those guys around them to kind of feel like they have the confidence to take down any team that comes in their way. So I think, this is what the test of Doc will be. How can he lead these men? I don't think it's about X's and O's, but how much confidence he could instill in the others around these guys to do what they need to do.
Would Doc's reputation take a hit if he doesn't go all the way with these two? Because, of course, it didn't work with Kawhi and PG-13. And now he has Embiid and Harden, and a lot of critics are saying that these two are brilliant, probably the best in the game as a duo. Is Doc's reputation at stake here?
It depends on if he were to go out and how he goes out, I think. If he goes down in another 3-1 fashion, having a lead in a series and then losing in that kind of dramatic fashion, he will be on the hot seat. He's already on the hot seat. People are just waiting for the playoffs to see what's going to happen with Doc Rivers, I think, at this point. But, I don't think it's a situation where we kind of really need to see what really happens. If they go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and it's really exciting, the guys are putting their all, and it comes down to buzzer beater shots or that sort of thing, I don't think you could really criticize Doc for that. He's only gotten James Harden in the middle of a season. They haven't gotten a training camp together. That chemistry hasn't really fully built yet. But, if he goes out in dramatic fashion again, or they lose in the first round or the second round, yeah, Doc Rivers is going to have a problem. But, right now, I think, he has everything flowing for them, momentum-wise, skill-wise, and, just all the cards are laid out for him. I think the Nets, they have a lot of chemistry issues that they'll need to deal with Kyrie in and out of the lineup. Ben Simmons still not playing. The Bucks still are not full strength with Brook Lopez still out. They're still trying to incorporate Serge Ibaka, and there's a lot of stuff that they need to deal with in the rest of the team. So I think this is all here for Doc. He needs to do what he needs to do. But if he loses in a really embarrassing fashion again, yeah, his legacy will definitely take a hit.
Alister, Albert, brilliant as always. Thanks for your time, brother. We'll talk.
Thanks, man. No problem.
All right, so as we leave the NBA segment, these are the scores from Sunday night's matches with the Jazz, Pacers, Pistons, Clippers, Mavericks, Nuggets, Pelicans all winning. Take a break, back with more.